Hi, I'm Mia Arakaki, and this show is one of the ways I create spaces for rest, renewal, and healing so that people everywhere, especially women in business, ministers, and helpers, can live and serve out of abundance and overflow rather than from a place of lack and burnout. My prayer in these episodes is that you are able to have a felt experience of God and a felt experience of God's presence with and in you. I'm here to help you slow down, get present in your body, and engage with God. The practice of Lectio Divina is a vehicle for using scriptures to simply be with God. The goal is not to try to get something or to figure something out, but to just allow yourself to be present in relationship to and with God. The process we'll go through in Lectio Divina is to read a passage slowly numerous times, and then to have a space of silence after each reading to reflect and experience both ourselves and God in the moment. Each time we read a passage through, I'll give you prompts for questions or noticings. Today, I've chosen a passage of scripture from 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 16 and 17 in the Message translation. As we begin, I invite you to find a place that you feel comfortable and safe in, a place that you can be relatively quiet and free from distraction. If possible, get in a comfy position, sitting with your feet on the ground, with the ability to sit up straight so that you can breathe deep breaths of life into your body. And now, as we start, I invite you to close your eyes if you feel safe and bring your awareness into your body. We'll begin with a deep breath, breathing in through your nose and back out through your nose. Take that deep breath all the way into your body, deep, deep into your lower back, slowly. Then exhaling slowly through your nose. Be conscious of just slowing your breath in and out. Continue repeating those deep breaths 3 to 5 times. Noticing those breaths, slowing your body down, helping you to find a slower rhythm. As you become aware of being present here and now in your body. as I read this passage of Scripture. Bring your attention to your body, not trying to fix it or judge it, but just being aware. If your attention wanders, that's completely fine and expected. Whenever that happens throughout our time, feel free to bring your awareness just back to your breath and to your body. As I read the passage through the first time, I invite you to notice what words or phrases you are drawn to in this passage. You realize, don't you, that you are the temple of God, and God is present in you. No one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. You can be sure of that. God's temple is sacred, and you are that temple. Now, sitting in silence, notice what words or phrases you are drawn to. As I read the passage again, be aware of what you feel or notice in yourself or in your body as I read this passage again. You realize, don't you, that you are the temple of God, and God is present in you. No one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. You can be sure of that. God's temple is sacred, and you are that temple. And now, in the silence, take time to notice what you feel or what you felt in your body or in your emotions as I read that scripture. Now, as I read the passage again, I invite you to notice if there's any invitation to respond or say anything to God. You realize, don't you, that you are the temple of God, and God Himself is present in you. No one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. You can be sure of that. God's temple is sacred, and you are that temple. Again, taking some time in silence to notice any invitation to respond or say anything to God. And feel free to offer that up as a prayer in this silence. And now, as I read the passage one last time, I invite you to use the silence to be open to receiving, listening to, or noticing God, or just simply being with God. You realize, don't you, that you are the temple of God. And God is present in you. No one will get by with vandalizing God's temple. You can be sure of that. God's temple is sacred, and you are that temple. Again, I invite you to take the time in silence to be open to receiving from God or noticing God or simply just being present with God. And now, as we come to a close of this space, I invite you to continue to be present to yourself and God as I offer this prayer. God, we thank you for this time and for this space to be able to be together with you. May you help us now and in our day-to-day lives to see you, to hear you, to feel you, and to respond to you. I now invite you to take a couple of those deep breaths all the way into your lower back. And as you do so, to touch your fingers, wiggle your toes, and when you feel comfortable, to open your eyes and become aware of your surroundings. May the Lord be with you as you go through your day today. Thank you for joining me. If this experience has been meaningful to you, consider sharing it with a friend or your community. Also, subscribe to the podcast to stay up to date with each new episode, and consider leaving a review or a rating. This helps us get to other folks like you. Please be sure to visit honeycombcoaching.com, where you can see all the offerings that we have. While you're there, please sign up for our news and updates via email and receive a free digital resource. I do look forward to the next time we get to experience God together. I'm Mia Arakaki, and until then, peace be with you.